Guys, please check it. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please all of you respond for me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Okay, fine. All right. Good morning, guys. Yeah, please. Okay, then I want to share this classroom notes every day to you through this particular access. Then I will give that. Let me prepare that link to you so that you are able to get it. Just 1 minute, guys. Let me shorten this link. Then I will share this. Right. So now take this link. All of you take this link data. Take this link. Take this. Just check one time now. Then whether you are able to get this content or not. So daily you can see the notes here. Whatever the notes, classroom notes I am going to prepare, whatever the diagrams I'm going to provide, then all we are able to get here through this. Right. Now, yeah, I think you're all aware about core Java, right? Do you have awareness on core Java? Are you getting core Java? Right. Up to what topics we required in core Java? Let me list out all the topics which are required for core Java in order to go for advanced Java. All right. The very first one, class, then abstract class, then interface, class, abstract class, and interface. This basic awareness is required. This is minimum content here we require. Okay, observe carefully. Next one is after that. Another thing is like what there after understanding these classes, abstract classes, and interfaces. No. Next, immediately here we required static keyword. Static keyword. Another topic here we require. Class, abstract class, interface. Next one is what there? Static keyword. After this static keyword, next we have to go for class dot for name method. This is one of the most important method we required in JDBC. Class dot for name method, and new instance method, another method. These two methods we required mandatory. This is mandatory for us. Then after that, after getting this clarity on this class dot for name method and the new instance method, after understanding this, the next one what we required, right? Yes. Then don't worry. Then whatever the link I've given there, let me go for changes there. After that, I will give that. Don't worry for it. I need to go for some setup. I will do that. Okay. Then after that, after completion of this, 1 minute, sir. Otherwise, 1 minute. Okay. Leave it. Then after understanding this class dot for name method and a new instance method, that another thing is like what I'm telling there. Here we need to go for some exception handling related content. In exception handling related, what we required now inside this exception handling. So we required mainly in exception handling throws keyword. Basic awareness is required. What is an exception and all. Apart from this, we required what keyword here? Throws keyword. Mainly here we required what the throws keyword. Then after this throws keyword, what I required here? Try, catch, finally. Another one, what we required here? Try, catch, finally. This is what we required. From what there? From exception handling. Right, sir. From exception handling, throws keyword. Next one is what there? Try, catch, finally. This content is required. Then after that, after completion of these concepts here, next we need to go for IO streams related topics here we required. IO streams. In IO streams, what topics here we required here? First one is directly I'm telling there, dynamic input approaches here we required. Basic anyway, basic introduction for IO streams is required. Apart from the dynamic input approaches, what are the various dynamic input approaches here we required here? First one is required like buffered reader. Then after this buffered reader, here we require what there? Scanner. After the scanner, we required like what there? Console. Of course, console is optional, not mandatory, but buffer reader and scanner, these many things here we require. Right, so then after that, after understanding this content here, another thing is like what I'm telling to you. Next one is, next number 2, here what we required here, dynamic input approaches. Next one is a file operations topic we required. File operations. Inside these file operations, what we required again here, understand it. In the file operations, what we required here. Now, file output to stream. File output stream, then after that, file input to stream. File output stream, then after that, what next one here? File input stream. These many things here we required. Okay, these are the content we required from IO stream, but serialization is required. Actually, serialization is also required, but depending on the time, we are going to understand that. Serialization and deserialization. This is minimum. Then after completion of these content here, another one. Then sixth topic is from what there. After understanding this IO streams and all, then after that we need to go for collection framework. Collection framework basics we require. In collection framework, what topics we required mainly? Only basics of collection framework, where especially what I required mainly array list topic is required. Basic overview of list set map we required, but after that array list topic is also be required. These are the various content here we are going to understand. We need all these concepts before moving to the JDBC. Right, sir. Now try to check it. All the concepts you aware or not? All topics, having awareness on all the topics or not? Right, sir. Now, if you know all these topics, then directly I will go for what their JDBC. Then once again I'm telling there, cross check this. Or else, if you're expecting to overview of all the concepts, no, then I'm ready to provide that. Otherwise, not required, sir. Then all the concepts I aware, no need to go for these pre-recorded content here. Then if you're saying that, then I'll go for directly JDBC. Tell me, depending on you only. I think some other people have to come, not attended there. Then okay, no problem. Then your information I'm telling there. So right? If I start these concepts here, it may take 3 to 4 days of time to complete these concepts. If all of you record all the concepts here, then I will go ahead for all the concepts here. Then after that, I'll go for what there JDBC. Then let me go for this all the concepts overview one time. Then how much you are having knowledge, I don't know. But in my view, how much content I required to go for JDBC, up to that I will explain to you, know, right? Better to go for all the concepts here, right? Nice. Now let's understand the content here. First of all, observe carefully. Now prerequisite part I'm talking with you. And before that, I think how many of you are attending today only the first class here? Now tell me. Today is the first class for right? Almost all. Okay. Now let me explain what exactly the program this was here. What is this program today? What I'm trying to start today. Let me explain that. Now this is what their advanced Java plus Java frameworks. This is what their advanced Java with the Java frameworks. Majorly, if you are in full stack now, then both the concepts we require. Now here, what concepts here we are going to understand there mainly. Advanced Java is one topic. Next one is Hibernate. Then after this, Spring. Next one is a Spring Boot. Then after that, microservices. And then what next one can know? Web services. If you're in full stack, these many topics here we require. Or if you're coming for only advanced Java, okay, it's okay. Then attend up to that advanced Java, you may finish it. Then remaining, those are in full stack, no, these many concepts here we required. We need to understand these many concepts. That's why now here I'm providing this batch especially for the sake of this. Okay, don't worry. So I have a clear-cut plan for these courses actually. What exactly the plan is available with me regarding these particular courses here. To cover all the courses, I'm going to be taking a parallel, not like what there, not one after another. If you take one after another, it may take a lot of time. If you take one after another, it may take a lot of time. So I need to go for parallelly the classes now. So to cover these concepts parallelly, what exactly the schedules here I'm following there, observe carefully. I want to take overall 2 slots, mainly 2 slots here I want to take to cover all these concepts. What are the 2 slots here I'm going to take there? Observe carefully. 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Then another slot is like what I'm telling to you, 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. They are the 2 slots here I'm going to take to cover all these concepts. But today I'm taking 10 o'clock demo class. You may have one thought of which. Okay, then this 10 o'clock classes I'm going to take up to some introduction classes only. Up to some introduction class only I'm going to continue these 10 o'clock classes. Later on, advanced Java I'm going to take at what time, you know? Here at 7 o'clock I will take what there? Advanced Java. Please recognize this point here. Advanced Java I'm going to take at what time there? At 7 to 8:30. When this advanced Java is going on continuously, when it is going to be happen continuously, at one point I will start what there? Whenever we are in the middle of the servlets in advanced Java, at that moment I will start what there? Spring framework. Spring framework at what time there? No, directly at 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Maybe max we can understand by the end of this month. By the end of this month, we are going to activate what there? 8:30 to 10 o'clock class. There I'm going to take what there? Spring framework class. Now here in the continuation here, what I'm taking there? No, here we can observe this clearly. Here I'm going to take Spring framework. Then after that, Spring Boot. Then after that, what next one here? Microservices I will take here. Here in this time, microservices. Parallelly, when this advanced Java class is completed here I'm planning for what there, whenever this advanced Java class is going on, whenever it is going to be completed, this advanced Java class there, then what we are planning there after that, here in place of the 7 to 8:30, I will go for Hibernate. After completion of this Hibernate, I will go for what they know, microservices, sorry, web services. These concepts we are going to be covered. This is my plan of taking these classes now. Please recognize this what I'm telling to you. Okay, but this 10 o'clock classes already given that information to you in the first class also, but again some of your new members, that's why I'm telling this information. So these classes, these 10 o'clock classes I'm going to take up to few days of time only, not forever. Answer my point here. After a few days of time I will take your advanced Java classes effectively at almost all at 7 to 8:30, but not immediately anyway. I need to take minimum 15 to 20 days of time. I have to take your classes at 10 o'clock. After that, we have to see the content at what time there? 7 to 8:30. Please recognize this. Okay, sir. Good. Again, if you have any doubts about this, no, then personally, then I will talk with you. I will clarify your doubts. And moreover, this 10 to 10 o'clock class, these introduction classes, I'm going to take max 1 hour in the starting point here. Why? Because due to the lack of the schedules now. But whenever I'm going to take the class at 7 to 8:30, full-fledged is 1.5 hour class I'm going to take, and 8:30 to 10 again here what I'm doing going to take there 1.5 hour class here. Parallelly we are going to attend for what there 3 hours class we are going to attend there whenever we are moving for what there frameworks classes. Okay, leave it. Next one is next one is after that. Let's come on to the content here. What exactly the topics I'm going to discuss there. Just I want to give overview, basic overview of all the concepts here. After that only we are going to start what there JDBC. Okay. Now here in advanced Java, again just 1 minute of time. In advanced Java, what I'm planning to discuss actually, what exactly the content here I'm planning to discuss there. First one is prerequisite. Prerequisite, that is the first one, prerequisite part. Then today I'm going to start it directly. Next one is JDBC. Then after that servlets. Then after the servlets, next one is what there JSPs. And then after that, next one is what there JSTL. Then after that expression language. These 6 topics here we are going to understand part of the advanced Java. Please, once again, I'm telling to you regarding this total culture, regarding this total content, what I'm going to discuss there. I given everything in the first day. On Friday, I've taken the class there on first day. Please check that video one time if it is possible. In YouTube, it is available, or else I will send that video to you. Then try to check one time that video. Then where I given that everything about this content, there we can understand it clearly. Right, leave this one. All right, sir. Then after this, now let's start our prerequisite part. Prerequisite. What you are going to understand this prerequisite part here, already given this content here. Now this total part here I'm going to discuss. So let me have a copy of this content here. Right. So this document is very, very important for all of you. Every day, if I type anything, automatically you can view the document on moment itself. Then might be before the next class, one time if you see that content, if you come to the class, then we are able to understand much more. Anyway, now let's come for this content, guys. Now here I'm telling to you containers in Java. What's the topic name there? Containers in Java. First of all, tell me what is this container actually? What is the meaning of container? What in general we are understanding about container? Nothing else. For example, I want to take some vegetables. Different vegetables are available. I want to keep them. So I need a carry bag or not? That carry bag is nothing but what there? A container. Simple speaking. Simply, a carry bag is acting as what there? A container. Similarly, in Java, we are going to write the programs with variables, methods, blocks, and some other. So to accommodate variables, methods, and so on, we need one carry bag or not? Definitely we need one carry bag or not? That carry bag is nothing but container. In Java, that container is what there? A class or an abstract class or what there? An interface. Enum is also be a container, but we don't require enum immediately. We don't require enum. Now we are not going to use that enum in JDBC immediately. In the future, we may use that, but not required immediately. So anyway, the point is what there. So container is a top level component in Java. It able to manage variables. It able to manage other programming elements. Other programming elements like what are these other programming elements like? No, variables, comma, methods, comma. Then what next one here? Blocks, comma, constructors, maybe constructors, and so on. These programming elements, we are able to get what there? These programming elements. If you want to manage these programming elements, we require some containers now. Then what are the various containers are available here? There are 3 types of containers. There are 3 types of containers in Java. What are the three types of containers here now? First one is a class, second one is what their abstract class, third one is what their interfaces or interface. Enum is also available, but we don't require enum immediately. Right guys, now this is the basic point here what I'm telling you. Now straight away we are going to understand what their class. What exactly the meaning of the class? What is the need of these classes there clearly? Right sir, only one point. Only one point, try to understand it no. To represent all real world entities, to represent all real world entities in Java applications. To represent all real world entities in Java applications, we have to use classes. Come on guys, what is the purpose of these classes there now? Tell me. To represent all real world entities in Java applications, we have to use what their classes. What are the real world entities there? Any example for real world entities? No. Say for example, one student I want to say is a real world entity. An employee I want to say is a real world entity. An account I want to say is a real world entity. A product I want to say is a real world entity, and so on. All these are having some attributes. Student has some attributes: student ID, student name, and student address, student qualification, student email, student mobile number. In the same way, account has some attributes: account number, account holder name, account type, account balance. So if anything has some attributes, that is called as what? Their real world entity. If anything has some attributes, then it is called as what? Their real world entity. Understand guys what I'm telling there? So to represent these real world entities, we are going to use what there? These classes mainly. We can understand clearly. So not only classes, I'm telling that to represent these real world entities, we may use classes, we may use abstract classes, and we may use interfaces. But now I'm talking about classes. That's why we are having some awareness on like what their classes clearly. Right, sir. Okay, fine. Now let's see this one. What is the syntax of writing classes? How we are able to write these classes? What exactly the syntax of these classes? Observe carefully. Now, first of all, here we have to provide what their access modifiers. What is the first one here? Access modifiers. Scope related access modifiers. What are the scope related access modifiers? Now tell me. Public, protected, default, and private. Some other access modifiers are available. Of course, we may talk about public, protected, default, and private are what their access specifiers in general. But in Java, there is no concept like access specifiers. Only the topic is what their access modifiers. Scope related access modifiers here we have to understand. Okay, access modifiers. Next one is class keyword is required. Then after that, for every class we need some identity. Every class must have what there? Some identity. So here what we require here now? Class name. What we need here? Class name. For every class, some identity is required in the form of a name. That name we have to provide for the classes. Then after that, optionally we have to provide what there? Extends a super class name. This is optional. This is not mandatory. Super class may be optional. Understand my point here. Next one is after that here we have to provide what there? Implements interface list. Implements what there? Interface list that we have to provide. Implements interface list. Then after that, here we have to provide some instructions, a set of instructions, or maybe body. Here we have to provide something else, some content here we are able to provide. And finally, here we are able to close this. Right, sir. Inside this, what we are able to provide, that we are going to understand inside the core Java classes. Or still, if you are expecting something inside these classes here, what you are thinking there, directly here we are able to provide variables. We are able to provide constructors. Here we are able to provide some blocks, static block or instance block, whatever it may be. Then after that, some methods here we are able to provide. Not only variables, constructors, blocks, and methods, we are able to define classes. We are able to define abstract classes. We are able to define abstract classes. And again here, we are able to define like what they know, interfaces, and so on. So many concepts here. Not only that, even enums also we are able to define, and so on. So many elements here we are able to define inside the classes. Understand guys? Inside the classes, what we are able to provide there in general. Up to this part we understood in general. Variables, constructors, blocks, and methods. But along with that, we are able to define what there classes, abstract classes, interfaces, and enums. These many things here we are able to define. Interviewer may ask a question to you. Is it possible to declare a class inside a class? Answer is what there? Yes. Is it possible to declare an abstract class inside a class? Yes. Is it possible to declare an interface inside a class? Again, answer is what? Yes. Okay. Up to that, three questions might be interviewer is asking now. But interviewer will not stop to ask the questions here in the same model. Next level, interviewer will ask the questions to you. Is it possible to declare a class inside an abstract class? Is it possible to declare an abstract class inside an abstract class? Is it possible to declare an interface inside an abstract class? Not only that, is it possible to declare a class inside an interface? Is it possible to declare an abstract class inside an interface? An interface inside an interface? These many topics we record, these many questions might be interviewer is asking there. Anyway, remember this. The simple answer for all these questions is what there? Yes. It is possible to declare a class, abstract class, an interface inside a class. A class, abstract class, interface inside an abstract class. A class, abstract class, an interface inside what there? An interface. All are possible in all. All are possible in all. But its proofs we are going to understand in core Java classes there. Whenever we are having the topic like inner classes, there we need to understand all these points now. Right? Leave this point here. So this is the basic syntax of writing what there? Class here. Next, I want to write like what there? Procedure to write the classes. Procedure to write classes in Java. Procedure to write classes in Java. What exactly the steps we are going to follow to write classes in Java? Already aware about it, but once again I'm repeating that points now. First of all, what is that process here? Declare a class with a class keyword. Declare a class with which keyword? You know, class keyword. Next one, after that, define variables and methods inside the class as per the requirement. As per the requirement, what we have to define there? Define the variables and methods inside the classes. Okay, that's completed. Then after that, after completion of this, third point is what there? Declare main class with the main method. Declare what there? Main class with the main method. Inside main class, comma, inside main method, create object for user defined class. Create object for what there? User defined class. How to create an object? I will show these points clearly. No need to worry for it. Declare the main class with the main method. Inside the main class, inside the main method, create an object for user defined class. For a user defined class, you know already that. Next one is after that, access class members. Access the members of the respective class. That's it. These are overall steps what we are having there. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Oh, let's see this one. And tell me, guys, do you have any awareness on IDE, Eclipse IDE? Have you worked on Eclipse IDE? Can I use directly Eclipse IDE? All right, sir. Switch your workspace. Some other care I want to take. Right, so new folder and ADV Java 10 a.m. I think it's already existed here. 10 a.m. Let me create a folder name is what there? Eclipse. Not Eclipse. Prerequisite. Right, it's okay. All right. So ready to open. Then directly I want to show all the points. So what we exactly required these points here. Now I want to show some small program. Then after that, flow of execution also here we are going to understand. Right, sir. One program for class, one program for abstract class. In that way, we are going to understand all the content here. Right. And do you have awareness on IntelliJ IDEA? Have you worked on IntelliJ IDEA? No. Okay. No, don't worry. I'll show in the future. Right, sir. Whenever we are having Eclipse IDE, now tell me, first of all, I need to create Java project. This is basic core Java program only. So Java project here I have to create. But do you have any Java project here? Create Java project option here? No. No. We don't have anything. So here we have to click on what there? Here we have to click on create a project. If we click on create a project, the very first option is what there? Then Java project. Click on next button. Right, sir. Now here we have to provide all the project details. What details here we have to provide there? Application name here we have to provide there. ABB01. Right, sir. Java version is what there? Java SE 17. In my system it is available. It's the latest version of the Eclipse IDE, so that we can use Java 17 version, no problem. Not required to change any other one. In our system, what Java version is the latest version is available, that will be recognized by Eclipse IDE automatically. That is one thing. Otherwise, nowadays Eclipse IDE is having Java software inbuilt inside it. By default, one Java version will come along with the Eclipse IDE. It will use that. It's an open JDK. No need to worry for it. Or else we can change it. If you want to have any specification for our Java version, that we can provide in our Eclipse IDE. Okay, fine. Click on next button. Not required to do any changes. Now click on what there? Finish button here. So don't create any module. Module is not required. Open perspective. It's okay, fine. Now here we are getting a project. Now inside the SRC folder, right click here. New. Observe carefully. I want to take package. In general, it is suggestible to take packages in our application development. So even if you use the edit plus or maybe some notepad plus plus, no, without using packages we are preparing applications. But in general, everywhere it is suggestible to take what? Packages. Without having packages, we are not going to prepare any classes in a real-time application development. Definitely we have to take what? Their packages. Now what packages can I'm going to take there? Com dot Durgasoft dot abb01 dot. Now observe carefully. All the classes are entities or not? All classes are what their entities now. That's why here we have to take what there. The package name is what their entities package. Click on finish button. Right, sir. Entities package here I have taken. Now here inside this, I want to create what there. Observe carefully. I want to declare a class inside this package. The name of the class here I want to take is like what there. Employee class here I want to take. Name of the class is what there. Employee class here I have taken. Main method I don't require. This is not my main class. This is a business class where business logic is going to be provided. So in Java applications, two types of classes are available. One is a business classes. Another one is what? Main class. Main class contains main method, that is an entry point for JVM. Business classes are having business logic that must be executed by JVM through main method. Understand it now? So here we are taking what there? That business class here we are taking. Employee is a class here we are taking. Click on finish button. When we click on finish button, here we have to provide our implementation part. Now here observe this clearly. Public class employee, I have taken it. Now I want to declare some variables. Int eno is equal to 111. For example, I'm telling this string ename is equal to, say for example, Durga. I declared here, and a float ecell is equal to some 50,000.0f. You're able to provide, and a string editor is equal to like what there IDV. Okay, this data here we provided. So now I've taken class here, class employee I've taken, where I've taken some variables. What variables I've taken there? ENO, employee number, ename and employee name, ecell and EADDR. EADDR is not required. 1 minute. All right, sir. Next one is variables are declared. I want to display this data. I want to display this data. So I want to perform an activity over this data. I want to perform an action over the data. To perform an action over the data, here we have to go for what there? Public void. Public void. Here I need to go for like what there? Display EMP details method here I want to take. What method name here we have taken there? Display EMP details method. Here I am going to take. Observe carefully. Then inside this, I want to display the data. Cessna doubted println of what we want to provide there. Employee details. I want to take one line here. Cessna doubted println of line space here I am able to provide. After providing this, Cessna doubted println of what we have to provide there. Employee number. I want to display like what there. ENO. Here the data is existed here. Cessna doubted println of employee name plus e name. Here we are displaying. Now Cessna doubted println of employee like salary. Here we are able to provide what there. E-cell. Then Cessna doubted println of employee address. Here we are going to take like what there plus EADDL. These many things here we provided. Now tell me guys, what I have taken there? I have taken a class. Inside the class, variables I have taken and a method also here I have taken. Variables, just along with the variables, I declare the data. Next one was there, whatever the data we declared with the variables, no, the data we are displaying through what they know through the methods. Observe carefully. Okay, fine, completed. Next one is what there. I need to go for main class, where we are going to provide main class in general. Try to understand it. No, we are not going to provide main class in the same entities class. Entities classes for the sake of what their business components. So employee is my business component, but main class I have to write separately. You should not include that main class inside the business components. No. So I need to take another package. SRC, right click on SRC, new. Here we need to go for what there a package. For that package name here we have to provide there com dot Durgasoft dot app 01 dot test. Test is a package here I want to take. Main class is nothing but what there test class. Now click on what there finish button. Inside this finish button. Now inside this then what we have to do there new, and here we have to provide what there class. What is the name of the class here? I'm going to take note test. Test is the name of the class. Where main method is required or not? Definitely main method is required. If you want to take it as a main class, click on finish button. Now inside this tester.java, what we are going to understand, observe carefully. As for the steps, as per the direction, what we have to do there. Declare class with the class keyword completed. Define variables and methods in a class as per the requirement completed. Declare main class with main method is also be completed. Then what next one can now tell me? Inside the main class, inside the main method, create what? An object for what there? User defined class. After this object, what next one can now? Access class members. After the object, what we require there? Access class members. All of you guys, observe carefully. Now here, I'm going to do like what there? I want to create an object for what there? Employee class. Observe carefully. Employee is equal to new employee is equal to what there new employee, that what we are getting. Then after that we need to call what there display employee details method. Here we have to call employee dot display employee details. Right sir, we call this one. This is main class. Inside the main class main method we created an object for user defined class. This is what there employee dot display emp details method. That's it. Now here we need to execute this program. To execute this program here, what we have to do, just run as button is available. There we are able to get all the details here. Whatever the employee details here we provided here, all the employee details here we are getting clearly. This is an output here we are getting. Right, sir. See, then one more point I'm telling there. If it is core Java class, more than this we are going to understand. More than this we are able to explain. But for JDBC, up to how much I required, up to that only I'm covering. No, now try to understand it clearly. Right, sir. Now let's see this one. Now here, understand this clearly. How many classes here we have written there in this application? Come on guys, now tell me. How many classes I have written here? One class or two classes now? Two classes. Employee.java and tester.java. Two classes here I have prepared. Two Java files, of course. If I compile this total application there, how many dot class files we are able to get? How many dot class files? Is that one dot class file or two dot class files? Two dot class files here we are able to get. Not like one dot class file, two dot class files here we are getting. Nice. When we execute test class, what JVM will do now? JVM will load test class bytecode to the memory. After that, JVM will come to main method. Now JVM will execute this intersection. What these intersections are now? Tell me. Creating object for employee class. Creating object for what? Their employee class. How object will be created here inside this particular one? Object will be created here like what there? First JVM will load employee class bytes code to the memory. After loading employee class bytes code to the memory, here new keyword is available now. That new keyword will ask to the heap manager about to create a block of memory. Block of memory will be created where hash code value is generated, reference value will be generated. That reference value will be assigned to a reference variable employee. Now inside this employee, object reference value is existed. Guys, now tell me, can I say this employee is an object? Can I say this employee is an object or not? Is it object or reference variable? Reference variable, not an object. Inside this employee reference variable, object reference value will be stored. Okay, fine. This is a reference variable. Then after creating an object, JVM will come to this next line. Employee dot display EMP details. Immediately, JVM will go to what their employee class. Inside this employee class, it will execute what their display EMP details. Then it will execute all the instructions what we have written clearly. Whatever the instructions here we written there, everything will be executed inside this display EMP details. So sysnot.out.println employee details, sysnot.out.println employee number, employee name, all the data, whatever the data here we provided, this data is going to be stored. It is going to be displayed clearly. So this is what exactly the program here we prepared now. Got my point or not? Okay, fine. Listen, all of you listen carefully. In this program, I want to give one more point. Try to understand this point here. This is one object. Am I right or not? One line space also here I want to provide there. Next one. Employee 2 is equal to new employee. Employee 2 dot display employee details. One line space. Next one is employee 3 is equal to new employee. Employee 3 dot display EMP details. Guys, I'm asking this question to all of you now. Try to answer for it. Here, how many employees objects I created, sir? 3 employee objects here I created or not? Overall, 3 employee objects here we created. In Java program, 3 employee objects we are created in the sense it is representing 3 employees in outside, 3 employees in a company, 3 employees in an organization. Am I right or not? Java program 3 employees we are creating in the sense we are representing 3 employees really in an organization. Okay, fine. Now I'm trying to display all the 3 employee details or not? I'm trying to display all the 3 employee details or not? Okay. Now here my question is, if I display all 3 employee details, no, all 3 employee details must be displayed or not? All 3 employee details must be displayed or not? Answer my point clearly. Okay. Now let us check this. What details here we are able to get? No. Here we are able to display all 3 employee details. All 3 employee details are same data or different data? Same data we are getting. But in general, in any company, 3 employees are available, but all the 3 employees are having same data or different data? Different data. All 3 employees must have what data there? Different data. But here we are getting what data here? No, same data. Maybe employee name, salary, address may be same for all 3 employees. No, but what is different here? No, employee number must be different or not? Employee number must be an unique ID or not? Employee number must be different or not? So our program is wrong. It is representing 3 employees, no, but the 3 employees data is not represented properly. It is representing the same data for all 3 employees. Not only this, in this mechanism, in this option, in this mechanism, even if we create 1000 number of employees, no, in all 1000 number of employees, no, the data would be very same. Why, sir? Why we are getting this type of problem here? Why we are having this type of problem there? Observe carefully. Inside this employee.java file, we provided data along with what their variables. We provided data along with what their variables. Got my point or not? Okay. Now I'm asking one more question there. How many objects I created for employee class? No, 3 objects we created. But every time creating an object, here we are calling one constructor or not? This is constructor. Here also we are calling constructor. Here also we are calling constructor. Now tell me, which constructor here we are calling there? Is it a zero argument constructor or not? The zero argument constructor is a default constructor or not? So now this constructor here we are calling default constructor. But do you have any constructor in class employee? Come on, do you have any constructor in class employee? Yes, sir. There is a constructor. We have not provided that. But by default, compiler is providing one constructor in our class. That compiler provided constructor is what there? A default constructor. Compiler provided constructor is what there? Default constructor. That default constructor here we are calling. Okay, still my requirement is what there? I want to provide different data for my employees. I don't want to get the same data for all employees. No, I want to provide different data for my employees. That is my requirement. If you want to provide different data for the employees, if you want to provide different data for the employees, no, there we should not assign the data directly like this. We should not provide the data hard-coded data to the variables directly. There we have to use what their constructor here we have to use. What we have to use there? Constructor here we have to use. What is that constructor here we are using there? No, here we can understand employee constructor. Now observe carefully. Again, here I'm going to show the same thing. Now here inside this, now here what I want to there, just I want to declare the variables here. Here just I want to declare the variables. I want to declare the variables. But values for this particular one, I want to provide inside what their constructor. Now try to understand this. No, envo is equal to 111. Ename is equal to like what there. Say for example Durga. Then E cell is equal to 50,000.0F. Then E ADDR is equal to what next one? You know, IDV. That's okay. Public employee constructor envo is equal to 111. Ename is equal to Durga. E cell is equal to 50,000. E ADDR is equal to IDV. Okay. Here also I provided the hard coded data. So just I have used constructor. Guys, now tell me, this is what constructor here? No, is it a default constructor or user defined constructor? Is it a default constructor or user defined constructor? Right, sir. Answer for this is what there? User defined constructor. We could not say it's a default constructor. Default constructor is a constructor which must be provided by the compiler when we are not providing any constructor in our class. If we provide at least one constructor in our class, then compiler will not provide what? Default constructor. So here I provided constructor explicitly. So that is my constructor. That is user defined constructor. Okay, compiler will not provide any constructor. Still it is a zero argument constructor only. But zero argument constructor is still provided by me, user defined constructor, not a default constructor. Okay, good, nice. The same constructor here we called inside our test class or not while creating objects? No. While creating object, the same constructor here we called here. So again we are able to get the same data if we execute this program. Again the same data we are getting or different data we are getting? No, same data here we are getting. But still, if you want to achieve a requirement there, we should not take a zero argument constructor. We have to take parameterized constructor to provide our own data for each and every object. Here I don't have any option to provide our own data for each and every object. Common data is provided for every object. But here, if you want to provide your own data for the objects, no, there we have to take what there? Parameterized constructor. Now observe carefully. How I'm going to take this parameterized constructor now? Say now here I want to provide like what there? Int empno, comma string emp name, then float emp sal. Next one, string emp addr. Now tell me, whenever we are creating object for employee class, we need to call this constructor. Inside this constructor, we have to provide the data. Whatever the variables are available, for all the variables, we have to provide the data. Then after that data we have to be assigned to the class level variables. So here what we have to do, we should not use this 111. In place of this, then what we have to provide there? Emp name, emp envo. Here we should not provide Durga. Here what we have to provide, they know EMP name. Here we should not provide this 50,000 directly here. We have to provide what there? EMP cell. Here we should not provide IDV. Now here we have to provide what there? EMP IDV. Now tell me guys, all of you know, which constructor here we have taken there? Parameterized constructor or zero argument constructor? Parameterized constructor. Only parameterized constructor is available. So while creating object for this, we need to access the same parameterized constructor or not? While creating object, we need to go for what there? Parameterized constructor. In a test class, here we have to provide, we have to access parameters for the constructors. Now here, I want to provide this time 111 comma, AAA comma, 5000 comma, and hide a batch. Similarly, while creating second object, I'm able to get the solution. I'm able to get the chance to provide our own data. What's the data here? 222 BBB. Then what next one here? 6000. Then after that, hide a batch. Similarly, now third time. Again here, what we are able to provide there? 333. Next one is a CCC. Then after that, 7000. Then after that, what next one here? Hide a batch. Now tell me, at the time of creating first object, we provided our own data or not? At the time of creating second object, we provided a different data or not? At the time of creating third object, we provided our own data or not? Our own different data or not? Right, so now observe carefully. Now I want to execute this program here. When we execute our program, now tell me, our data is different or not? So whenever we want to provide different data to each and every object, there we have to take what their parameterized constructor. There we have to take what their parameterized constructor. It's mandatory. Okay, fine. One more small point, guys. Observe carefully. Now, what is the class level variable I have taken? ENO, E name, E cell, E editor. But what are the parameter variables we have taken? EMPNO, EMP name, EMP cell, EMP editor. All the data is a different data, different variables or not? Say for example, if I use ENO here, if I use EMP name, sorry, E name, and if I use E cell, and if I use E editor, that means class level variables and parameter variables both are same. My point is what there, while creating object, I'll provide data to the parameter variables. Same data I have to be assigned to class level variables. I am providing parameter variables, no? For that parameter variables, I have to send the data. Same data we have to be transferred from parameter variables to class level variables. So because of that reason, in place of EMP NO, ENO, in place of EMP name, E name, in place of EMP cell, E cell, in place of EMP ADDR, E ADDR, that I provided. Now observe carefully. ENO is equal to ENO. My requirement is this ENO is a class level variable, but this ENO is what their parameter variable. This ENO is a class level variable. This ENO is what their parameter variable. This is class level. This is parameter. This is class level. This is parameter. That is my intention. As per my intention, I provided like this. But how compiler can recognize this ENO is a class level, this ENO is a parameter? No. When local variable is having the same name, always first priority will be given for local variable or not? It means that to the local variable we are assigning the same local variable or not? To the local E name is equal to E name we are assigning or not? But my requirement is what there? I have to refer class level variable. To the class level variable, I need to provide what there? Local variable. So whenever we are having same names for the local variables and parameter, sorry, local variables and class level variables, always highest priority is given for local variables only. Where to refer class level variables, where to refer class level variables over local variables, where to refer class level variables over local variables, there we have to use a separate keyword. That keyword is what they know, this keyword. Now this dot ENO is equal to what there? ENO. What is the meaning of it? No. Now this ENO is a local, that means parameter variable. This dot ENO is what they know? Class level variable. This dot Here also we have to provide what there this dot. Next one here also here we are providing like what there this dot. This dot EADDR is equal to what there EADDR. Then what we are getting clearly. So this keyword whenever we are having same names for local variable and parameter variable, sorry, local variable and class level variable, to refer class level variable over the local variable, there we have to go for what there this keyword. This dot envo is equal to envo, this dot ename is equal to ename, this dot eval is equal to eval, this dot eaddr is equal to eaddr. The remaining data is what there normal here we are able to provide. Right, so now let me check this point here clearly. Here we are getting the same data. Whatever the data here we are expecting, the same data here we are getting. Now this is what exactly the program about like what there. Simple example here we have to understand about this employee.java. Next one is what there tester.java. Okay, right. Right. So now this part here we completed. Now this is about like what there class. This information is sufficient about to understand what there or JDBC with respect to the classes. Next we have to understand what their abstract class. Okay, right, sir. The time is almost all 11 o'clock. I want to stop here. This fundamental classes up to some few days of time, only 1 hour I want to take there. But when I'm going to start the class at 7 o'clock there officially, I'll go for what there 1.5 hour class there. So try to access these notes and try to use the content here. Then I want to continue on tomorrow. Then tomorrow I will go for what there abstract classes. Then time is possible. Then interfaces. Tomorrow max I will finish this containers part here. After this one by one, all the concepts here we are going to understand. Right? That's all, guys. That's all for today. And I'll meet on tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll continue the remaining parts. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Maybe 15 to 20 days of time max. Prerequisite and a little bit JDBC. Introduction part JDBC. Then after 7 o'clock.
No, sir, again, sir, actually, I'm watching football. Football World Cup is going on.
You're watching videos, no?
That's why, sir, I don't watch live. That's why.
Anyway, then come. I don't have any problem there. How long I'm going to take this class at 10 o'clock? You will come.
Sir, because of football World Cup, I'm not coming.
Because of football matches, you're not coming. Huh? Admission cancelled.
No, sir, it's no, sir. Sir, I have to watch football match.
వచ్చిందా? పర్లేదు.
నాగేశ్వర స్టూడెంట్ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది వెళ్ళిపోయాడు పొరగా నాగేశ్వర దగ్గర అయిపోయింది మిగిలిన అన్ని నాకు రికార్డింగ్స్ కావాలి అని అడుగుతున్నాను పేమెంట్ మొత్తం అయిపోయింది
Guys, ask your team. Ravi Elpula. 7 a.m. advance Java link. Are you attending regularly? 7 a.m. Ravi, are you attending 7 a.m. regularly? Yeah, not having link, 7 a.m. link. Okay, then our people will send you, don't worry. Okay, right. Sir, what is the duration of the course? The left. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks, sir. I'll meet on tomorrow. Sharp 10 o'clock. Come here. Then I will start the class at exactly 10 o'clock. Okay. Right. Currently not having link. No problem. Arsha will send you. Ravi help. NAOFJ01. Okay. 01. First, very first person. Okay. Ravi, don't worry. Then you'll get a link. Thank you.